probably a little frustrated after last week. Cyrus said you told him this week you're going to be throwing it all over the place. Were you pretty set on getting the passing game on track coming into this game?
Yeah, it was nice to be able to throw a forward pass this week. It was probably a little bit more exciting for the fans too. No, I was obviously, the goal coming into the week was, we gotta get our passing game going. We have the weapons. I believe in myself. So really, at the end of the day, it was just about executing, and I think we did a good job of that today.
Any concern about the running game now? Because the passing game looks great. The running game was a little slow today.
Yeah, hopefully we can figure them both out at the same time. We don't just keep going back and forth. But no concern in the run game. Obviously, we threw it really well today, and that was working for us. They did a really good job up front, just shedding blocks and stuff, getting off and making tackles, and at least making contact in the backfield, making it tough on us to run the ball effectively. But at the end of the day, we figured out a way to put points on the board.
Jeff had the one-handed catch. How does that feel to kind of know that you don't have to make a perfect throw or have wide open space, that you can kind of throw it up and they'll make 50-50 catches?
Yeah, obviously as a quarterback, you want to be able to just give your guys a chance and they go make plays for you, and our guys did a really good job of that today. Jeff did an unbelievable job of catching that one. I don't know how he did it, but I don't ask too many questions. Like I said, you make the catch. I usually just leave it at that. I tell you, good job, and obviously that catch was unbelievable. But, just move on. But it was an unbelievable grab by him for sure.
Is there anything Cyrus Allen's done in particular to kind of earn the most targets and kind of action in the passing attack through 2 weeks?
He just, comes to work every day, just like the rest of the guys. But, he's very, very specific on what he does and, pays a lot of attention to his craft and works on it every day. So props to him. He's just finding the most targets right now. He's creating the most space. And he's just doing a really good job. So, all of our guys did a really good job today of, getting open and going and attacking the ball. He's been really good, though, coming to work every day.
52 yards a catch for Royer. Was he in your ear to get it to him a little bit more?
No, I just, at halftime, he was like, I just want 100, Sorsby. And I was like, 2 for 104 is not bad, dude. So we'll just cut you off there, No, we got to keep finding ways to get him the ball. The play that he had the long completion on, we hadn't really repped that exactly throughout the week. It was kind of just a playing ball moment. He did a good job of finding his way, and I was like, well, whatever he does, the ball's going to him. So he just did a good job of getting open and finding a way.
You find it crazy on that one play that the 73 yards was more than what you threw against Nebraska. I mean, it's a strange game.
Yeah, thanks, Scott, for bringing that up. Yeah.
Well, that's a good throw.
Yeah.
I would take credit for the throw, right?
Yeah, no, it was definitely, you love to have those big chunk plays. Obviously, they're good for the stat sheet, but it's just good to, especially when you're backed up, it's fun to, flip the field completely. So, yeah, that was a fun play. And, yeah, I did have, I guess, more yards on that one play than I did all last game. So, there we go.
Brendan, you told us earlier in fall camp that Cyrus was a guy who liked to talk and say, hey, give me the ball. Was there any conversation after he scored the first one? Moments ago, he told us he knew he was scoring on that play right when he got off the line of scrimmage. Was there conversations with Cyrus saying, feed me today?
I'm so surprised that he doesn't do it more, because whenever we were in fall camp, it was just, over the top. Especially whenever we were recruiting him, it was like, sort of, you're going to throw me the ball a ton. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Well, over, obviously fall camp and stuff, I was like talking about him being a diva. And, the one guy that's going to get on to me all the time. But, he just did a really good job on that play. Same thing. We were thinking Goody on that play, and he just ended up popping open down the sideline, and then obviously his second touchdown. But during the games, he's really not in my ear as much. I mean, obviously, last week, whenever we have 70 yards passing, he's a little bit more angry, but we all were. So it was good to bounce back this week, and, everybody was touching the ball, everybody was eating.
Ryan, then Aaron.
Another big day for Jake Golday today defensively. As an offensive guy, what's been your vantage point on how he's played these first 2 weeks?
He's getting us the ball back, that's for sure. He's making a ton of plays. Y'all just asked him if he thought he was one of the best linebackers in the country. I think he's one of the best, since he won't say it for himself. Obviously, he's taken over the quarterback talk, like I just said, since, I try to get away from that now. Stipe's always getting on to me about the quarterback talk. But, no, Golday's an unbelievable player, and, I truly do think he's one of the best in the country.
Ethan Green and Xavier Lozowicki see some significant snaps today. How do you think the kids did today?
They did an unbelievable job. Obviously, like we talked about, the run game obviously has to be better. We got to be able to run the ball more effectively. But as far as the pass game goes, the protection was really good. No sacks again. that's a huge deal. So, props to those guys up front. And, they filled in and did an unbelievable job.
Brendan, you spoke about the catch from Jeff Caldwell. When you guys rewatched that back on the sideline, what was your initial reaction after you saw that back on the iPad?
It was the same reaction I had on the field, like, did he really just catch that? And then whenever I got to the sideline after we had scored, I was still in shock that he had got it. So, like I said, an unbelievable catch by him, and really, really good game by him overall.
Russ and Alex.
Brendan, how do you assess the performance in the film takeaways from Nebraska versus how much weight you're going to put into this week's performance and next week's performance, obviously with a different level of competition across all three?
Yeah, you got to attack each week with the same mindset. We got to be able to run the ball and we got to be able to throw the ball. Obviously, you're going to get stopped. You're going to have 3 and outs. You're going to have bad plays, but we got to find a way to be more consistent just as a whole, as an offense in general. And, that's what throughout the week is for. That's what coming to practice with the same mindset every day is for. Because at the end of the day, we have a standard and we got to live up to that. We didn't do that against Nebraska. We didn't finish drives like we should have today. We didn't keep drives going like we should have today. But, we just got to build off the good, flush the bad, and, find ways to improve weekly because obviously once we get to conference play, there's not much room for error.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks, Brendan.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.